Yeah, there were some incriminating videos and details that came to light today. Like after I made the post saying I wasn't going to show up. Not only did Tim release a new statement, but he also deleted the previous statement from As I Lay Dying, that bullshit hostage statement from his wife that everyone knew was horseshit has been deleted. And a member of one of his other bands, his other side project, quit, revealing the same reason. So all of the crumbles have gathered together and we can now build this cookie. I know that's not how cookies work, but fuck it. So headbang the like button, stage dive on the subscribe button, and windmill the video to your friends. If you're a fan of the channel and you'd like to show your support, consider becoming a member. Memberships are only 99 cents a month, and each one really helps me toward my goal of creating a life-size Godzilla to invade Canada. This was posted 2 hours ago today. Tim Lambesis says, there is currently a restraining order and a domestic violence investigation being filed against Danny Norris, formerly Lambesis. This is stating that Tim is filing a restraining order and a domestic violence investigation against his now ex-wife, third ex-wife, by the way. Remember, in case you guys don't know, this is the man who went to jail for 6 years for trying to hire a hitman to murder his first wife. So right off the bat, I'm a little skeptical of this putting an investigation on her. That'd be one hell of a woman to be like, that guy who went to prison for attempted murder, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of him. Anything she is saying now is to distract people away from that to instead focus on my own inappropriate but not illegal reaction to these anxiety-inducing interactions. He says, this woman assaulted me and verbally/mentally abused me over 3 years. I took the much needed and overdue step to leave her yesterday by delivering divorce papers. That is the reason there have been attempts at retaliation toward me online today that pale in comparison to what will really be the focus of the courts. So, Tricky says, holy shit, his wife is trying to kill the big and scary man. He's becoming the Henry VIII of metal. That is an amazing comment. Oh, man. I need a minute. Oh my god. That was fantastic. William says collecting divorces like Infinity Stones. Yeah, so he's trying to come out saying that she has been abusive to him for 3 years. If only this statement had come out and nothing else involved, and then the videos that we're about to watch, still not really. But if it was only this statement, maybe you could try to give some, like, maybe he's being serious. Maybe it is actually her who's been abusive for 3 years. But at the same time, all of his band members and all of his other bands left at the same time, citing safety and concerning repeating patterns. And then he released a statement saying, oh yeah, it was kind of weird, but you know, it'll be good for us. And then deleted that statement. And then his now ex-wife posted a statement saying she wasn't being abused, written very lawyery, I thought. And now that statement's gone. So if you take out all of that, then yeah, I think Tim might be telling the truth here. The following evidences are part of the case. We are getting the metalcore version of the Johnny Depp case, ladies and gentlemen. This is gonna be fun. Multiple videos of her assaulting me. When you see the videos of them together, that will be hard to believe. Videos of her chasing me around the house with a knife or scissors. Don't know about that. I mean, I didn't see anything about that. A video of her insisting that I delete all other accounts of her physically assaulting me under threat of her knocking me out with a weapon held over my head. Wait, so you're saying that she was threatening to knock you out if you don't delete evidence of her assaulting you? That was written kind of weird. Photos of a black eye she gave me with witness accounts of the event. Witness accounts of being threatened if I try to leave, even temporarily. You better not leave to try to hire a hitman. I'm certain she will counter by trying to expose my anxiety-filled reactions and defenses, but please remember that reacting in panic by hurting myself, great start, is a far different than what I've listed above. The timing of these public attacks online are because I served her with divorce papers yesterday after many days of her pleading for me to stay, while also flipping back and forth to attempting to exert abusive control. This is blatantly a retaliation for me finally leaving a relationship I should have run from a long time ago. He was trying to get that extra dig in right there. So that was his statement. Tricky says, I smell bullshit. Huss says drama becoming a weekly thing at this point. It's gotta stop eventually. Evidence that she left a turd in his bed. Steve says, were his former bandmates abusing him too? That's what I'm saying. With As I Lay Dying falling apart again, that wasn't his fault, according to him. With videos coming out of him and his wife that aren't great, not his fault again. Damn, this dude has just the worst luck ever. But so, that's what he stated. Let's pull up some actual information on what happened. By the way, now would be a good time to mention that. So, I shared Tim's statement there in my Instagram stories, and my very mature response was, ha 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 ha, in all caps. And then I said, yeah, sure, Tim, guy who went to jail for trying to kill his first wife. I'm sure your third wife was just so abusive to you. Well, you know how on Instagram you can check and see who looks at your stories? Tim saw that story. So, just wanted to say for the public record that I am not planning on Epsteining myself anytime soon, and just want to put that out there. Now, all right, now I can pull up. So, apparently his now ex-wife, or someone, really, probably her, released a couple of, two so far, disturbing videos of him yelling at her and losing his shit, basically. I'll let you all know right now that in these videos, I watched them already, there was no physical violence to be seen. You guys are not gonna watch, anyone getting beaten right now or anything like that. But it's some heated argument. As I Lay Dying's Tim Lambesis responds after videos of disturbing exchange with wife surface. New videos have started circulating around the internet that have shown As I Lay Dying frontman Tim Lambesis having disturbing exchange with his wife, Danny, ex-wife now. So he had the first wife that he paid someone to try to kill and he failed. And then this wife that disturbing things come out with. Second wife did leave him. And I must say, she has to have the biggest balls of any woman in history. So this first video has no audio, which kind of sucks, kind of does leave out a lot of information there, admittedly. As many jokes as I'm making here, I do have some honest points to make. Number one, don't hit your wife. No, so this first video has no audio, don't know why, but what we see is clearly there's been some type of exchange going on already. His wife is in bed, she seems to be crying. He is Donkey Konging out, losing his shit, about to start chucking barrels down at an Italian plumber, it seems like. And he starts basically raging out at himself. I guess if you find that disturbing, this is your trigger warning, but he doesn't there's no physical violence except him punching himself like an idiot. Quiet. She's yelling something. He seems to grab her, but we can't really see anything. Seems like screaming in her face. He gets up. Donkey Kong. Such an asshole. I'm sorry. He's losing his shit. She seems to be crying. He's back in her face. They're arguing. He seems to kind of grab her head. If I get demonetized because of Tim, I'd be fucking pissed. Yeah, punch yourself for... And he goes full Donkey Kong, full roid rage. He looked like he thought he had a syringe in his hand right there at the end. Where's the drywall punch? Impressed? See, he is improving as a person because there was a drywall hit right there. He's just recounting a movie scene for her. He was practicing for his audition coming up. Who are we to judge? So on the one hand, we together are laughing at someone going through a terrible emotional state at the moment. Now, normally I would feel bad, but I don't because of all of the other information given in this situation. If it was only this came out, yeah, I wouldn't be having such a comedy fest with you guys right now. But it is funny though. Let's keep in mind, what did you say in his statement? That she was abusive to him. She wouldn't let him leave when he tried to. That didn't really come across in this video. Donkey Kong punching himself in the head while she's in bed crying doesn't really portray that. Derek says, is anyone else who deals with anxiety really sick of angry shitbirds using anxiety as an excuse for putting hands on a woman? Yeah, that actually kind of brings up the serious side I want to talk about here. So his whole freaking out, hitting himself and everything, as he even put in his statement, that is not good, but it's not illegal. That alone would be a cause for a concern about that own single person. When it escalates into physically involving other people like that, yeah, it becomes a whole different thing to me. In my past, I did have a lot of emotional and anxiety problems, but when I was younger, I was prone to anxiety anxiety-filled freakouts. Not to the level of Donkey Kong over here, but I've had my moments of screaming to myself and losing my shit and trying, like, needing time to calm down. That never escalated into actually harming other people or anything. So that's where it goes beyond, like, if it was just him here in this one incident or something, I would be concerned for him as a person. But as Stormier says right here, any man who lays his hands on a woman is a coward for any fucking reason. I would say, like, unless she is literally trying to murder you, which he claimed didn't really look like it from her, sitting in bed. I will say, why was the phone recording then? And he seemed to be aware of it because he grabbed it at the end there. It wasn't like that Johnny Depp video where he was smashing cabinets and then, like, all the phone was there and grabbed it because she was a bitch. I don't know if this is his phone or her phone, but he seems to know it's there when he does this. And I don't know. Lil John says, I'm a constant ball of depression and anxiety. I've never hit anyone because of it. Exactly. Sorry for you experiencing that, but exactly. When you harm other innocent people, you lose that for me. I'm completely sympathetic up until innocent people get harmed, and then no. But Tricky says they're arguing if he'll get the role as Donkey Kong. With all the live action movies coming out, that's probably what was happening here. Why are we being so quick to judge? It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility. Good quote. Good way to put it. Yep. When I began to tackle my own anxiety and depression problems, that was my view of it, was that it's on me to not make this other people's problems. Corky says, I wish there was audio. What if she said that she liked Nickelback? I mean, it's still awful, but that's what I'm saying. There's so much missing context. What if he plays this in court and you hear saying, like, I always hated your band, you suck. Or she's like, my ex had bigger muscles than you. And then he just lost his shit. As I lob barrels. Rocket, what do you think? You want to comment to the people? Rocket says, don't hit women or any innocent people. He says Tim Lambesis sucks. There's another video to play. We're gonna get to it, but Rocket, you understand. What do you think of As I Lay Dying? That's my same opinion. So the other video that was shown, I will say, Tim's still in pretty good shape. I don't know if he's still roiding or not, but which also makes it harder to believe. So then there's this other video. This one does have audio, but is this working now? I'm retarded and tired. Blame Tim. Donkey punch. Do it again. Doggy. There. All right. That's what I was saying. There she is, not letting him leave. There he is. There she is, not letting him leave. So right there, he was saying, just love me, after he threw a fucking table. And then he Donkey Kong. So she won't listen about something that makes him throw a table. That dog is thinking to itself, what the fuck is this Donkey Kong doing? This stream has taught us two things. Tim Lambesis is a baguette. Nice. And Wyatt is Now I see what you're doing. Clever. He's just a cool, stable guy. He's changed, guys. He went to prison for failing to kill his first wife, but he changed, guys. He went on tour. He realized the errors of his ways. This was very table of him. Yep, Tim has lost his mind. He legit has developed into Donkey Kong. It is 2 videos of him doing the exact same fucking thing. Seems like Tim has skipped leg day. That's the problem. She was reminding him that you need to get leg work in, and he was like, I'm gonna punch myself in the face. We've all been there. Oh, really? Nordic says, Lamgoat's second video doesn't show the full each video. Tim runs into the wall and hits himself in the head with a milk jug. So yeah, remember, he filed a restraining order on her, because according to him, she wouldn't let him leave because she was abusive. As you could tell by him repeatedly fucking punching himself in the face. Dude, the second video is showing real mental illness. It is! I'm not disagreeing with that, which is very unfortunate. But for me, it loses my sympathies when, including violence to any innocent person, but to a woman especially. But also, yeah, keep in mind that it's not just these 2 videos. It's all of his band members quitting, everything else with it. The internet moves fast! Nobody. Tim Lambesis. The pain. Oh my god. The internet is ruthless. Hey, it's me. Hey! Guys, what is happening right now? This is weird. We're in the future dimension. I don't know what's happening. So that's the breaking news. What do you guys think of Tim's statement now after we went through all of that? Eric says, I genuinely hope Tim gets help before someone gets seriously hurt. He's done some bad shit, but so far no one actually got killed despite him trying, but that might not last if he keeps this up. Yeah, exactly. This is what happens when you take steroids for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You become a face-punching Donkey Kong. Yeah, that's kind of strange. You know, we all lose our shit. We all have moments of, you know, I'm sure we've all punched an object here and there. Yeah, Tim, smoke some weed. Damn, you need to chill. I think Tim is out of touch with reality and needs a real mental evaluation. From his perspective, his statement is true, but his perspective is not reality. That's a good way to put that. Yeah, this is the repeating pattern, it seems like, that everyone was talking about. That it's not only this one situation, it's this situation and all the band members leaving, all of them from his other band too. And then the past, it's kind of a reoccurring thing. Hank Hill says, I have anxiety, I will cure it through roid rages. That's the spirit. It worked well for Tim. So who's excited for Azalea Dying's new album? It's got a lot of hot press with it. Yeah, that really sucks for Tim that his wife won't let him leave. When they go to court, if all this evidence comes out to show that he's completely right and she was insane and trying to murder him somehow, I will absolutely wear clown paint on camera and admit that I was talking shit and I was wrong. I doubt that'll happen, but you know. So yeah, just go back and think about his statement about the band members leaving and being like, oh yeah, now that I look at it, it kind of was an unhealthy environment and, you know, it'll be good for everyone to kind of move on. I'm like, whoever did this is a fucking asshole. All right, you guys got to see this video. So I thought this was it. It's not, but this person put the two vids together and they did this.
Stop! Stop! I don't want to be alone. Get me to explain one thing you won't listen.
I love you. You love me. I love you. You love.
Jimmy from the block, you're an asshole, and I appreciate it. It was hilarious. Well, that is the drama with Tim Lambesis, everybody. That kind of reveals a lot of what everyone was suspecting. Obviously, it's pretty safe to assume that all of his band members discovered this pattern of behavior, whether he was Donkey Konging out on them or if they found out he was doing it to her. Kind of hard to say. You know, no one so far has reported that he was violent to anyone else, but they all did, many of them said in their statements that it wasn't a safe environment for anybody. So maybe he was, you know, they're all around the water cooler talking about, hey, wouldn't it be cool if on the album we did this? And then he just started chucking things around, Donkey Konging out. He needs help. Correct. He lying. Also correct. Hank Hill says, I get a feeling if she ran after his crazy ass with a knife, then one of them would have been stabbed. Yeah, if he's going to the length of punching himself in the face like that over her sitting at a table, I feel like if she ran at him with a knife, one of them would be pretty fucked up. So if anybody watches this podcast, the Garza podcast, it's basically like the Joe Rogan of metal. He interviews a bunch of different metal people all the time. He had Tim on, and this interview a while ago I listened to try to see if Tim really had changed or how he was as a person. Maybe my impression of him was wrong. Let's see what he spoke about it. And when I watched this, I was like, I don't really believe you. So I think it might be fun to go back and look at now after, you know, what has come to light.
You know, we felt like there was some criticism from people saying, hey, it's weird to me that you guys just put out one song and then didn't address the elephant in the room. And we said, well, dude, we don't know how to do it. Like, there's not like a statement we can give as a band. So
I don't know how to tell everyone I tried to kill my wife. It's kind of awkward, you know? Shit. Don't blame me.
Just gonna put a camera up, you know, it's like very emotional to think back on, but it's like,
is he crying?
You know, just gonna be raw because healing takes a lot of years.
You're a pussy. I'm sorry, you know, as I lay crying after my wife left me for abuse, women scare me while in his third failed marriage.
And Tim, I think you've done a good job moving on. And that's my personal opinion. People think we can't be defined by our darkest moments. You know, that's so unfair. Then what? I mean, we're all human. No one has, as Jimi Hendrix said, you know, no one's hands are clean. So it's just weird. Like people deserve redemption and another chance to grow. And I think given your situation, you deserve that. And I think you are doing like the work as like a friend to to you, and I think that's, you know, you should be more the band, you know, because also me knowing Phil, like, man, he worked his whole life just to play guitar. You know, he deserves to be out there with you and playing those songs that you guys work so hard on. You know, I mean, what kind of world are we going to live in, and we can't give people another chance?
Yeah, guys, what kind of world is that? Should we give him another chance? Another one?
I mean,
another one?
I met some people that did some really, really terrible things. You know what I mean? And and I also met some people that never got caught for insanely terrible things. You know what I mean? And and you can tell a person's sincere. Of course, there are very, very manipulative people out there. You know, but like you can.
There are manipulative people out there. He says that there's video of him grabbing his wife and screaming at her while he punches himself in the head. So yeah, thought it was a little funny to go back on that, since I only fairly recently watched that to try to give an honest take, and then was like, nah, I'm good. Yeah, good point here, because Tricky said, no, it'll probably repeat the same drama that is happening right now. Yeah, so as Garza, apologize if I pronounced that wrong, was trying to say that like he deserves a second chance and blah, 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 blah. And, you know, at the time, fair, but definitely now, as he's blamed every single other person, the member of all the other bands, his ex-wife, none of these current dramas have anything to do with him, I'm gonna say no. I definitely understand wanting to give people a second chance if they're really honest about it, depending on what they did, obviously. But I always just got the sense that Tim was shit, and I was right! I was right, again. Eric says, what he says isn't wrong, but his words and actions don't match. He says it's not over just because he's out, but he clearly hasn't internalized that, or he's just talking straight out of his ass. That was the impression I got, that he was talking out of his ass during the whole thing. Doubt that, you know, one goes through extreme steroid abuse and 6 years in prison and comes out of it totally mentally fine. As we can tell, the prison system works in America. He learned to say the right things in public. That is 100% my opinion on that. But
and for people that don't know, you're not dabbing and being a Christian. You, like as you said, you studied it.
Yeah.
And then
my favorite part of the Bible when I was a child in Sunday class was the part where Jesus would roid out and punch himself in the face like Donkey Kong. It always spoke to me in such a really inspiring way. Someone asked before in the comment, what do I think of Garza? He's fine. I don't watch every episode of this. If it's someone I'm really interested in, I do. He's fine enough. I don't have anything like really positive or negative to say about him, honestly.
Assume that it just makes you feel very alone. And then when you're in a band, trying to explain this, when the only few people in your life that start to do this, the gym, like you barely put out this fucking record, which I know how that is.
Yeah.
And then
what do you think, Rock?
You know, okay, he fucked up, or you know, what's wrong with Tim?
Yeah.
You know, I saw a dude in his early 30s and he was broken for all the reasons that you just pretty much laid out.
That's a good point, actually. Thank you for bringing that up. How old is Tim? This dude is 44 years old. Donkey Kong punching himself in the temple. So, what did we learn here today, ladies and gentlemen? In all seriousness, dude, take care of your mental health. Yeah, if you have anxiety and depression and rage issues, definitely have them worked on. As someone very well put in the comments here, it may not be your fault, but it is your responsibility. I think it's a great way to approach it. As someone myself who has gone through tremendous self-work and therapy and worked on behavioral pattern changes and shit, I don't fault him necessarily for how he was acting toward himself. I mean, you know, it's not healthy, but I wouldn't be pointing and laughing if it was just that. But it's involving everyone else, involving the wives, the seemingly violence toward them, the other band members leaving, and mostly him not taking any type of accountability whatsoever in any case. The Azalite Gang members leaving was their fault. His wife not wanting him to throw tables at her is her fault. So take care of yourselves. Mental health is important. Don't ever put hands on an innocent person. Men who assault women should be castrated. And if this does go to court and Tim reveals a whole bunch of information that his wife was this evil succubus bitch who really was doing all these things and he was innocent, I will absolutely wear clown paint on here and take back everything I said. But I don't think that'll happen. For more from me, check out my band Dark Insanity. You can find us on Instagram, on Spotify, on all of the streaming platforms, on Bandcamp as well. We have our EP Rabid Psychosis out now. We've got merch available for the channel and for the band. Now you can get White Metal t-shirts, Savior of Metal hats, Dark Insanity t-shirts, Dark Insanity weed bags. We've got everything. Links for all of my stuff can be found in the description of this video. Anyway, that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next video.